Oh, I need the shoes under the chair. They keep scooting back. Look at that, still got it. So a lot has happened in the last year and a half. At one point, I was a little baby covered in amniotic fluid, learning how to race my first GT3 on the Simrig. And a lot has changed. I'm no longer down here at this desk. If you've been following the channel, I actually have a whole room dedicated to this now in my house that's not big enough. But it is time for an update on what's on that rig, just so everybody knows, because it is pretty fleshed out and I haven't done one of these before. But let's start where it all began. What you see here is the Fanatec CSLDD. I got this on sale Black Friday 2023. At the time, it had a QR1 on it. Since then, it has been upgraded to the QR2 and the 8Nm boost kit. And that's right, I have it on the glass desk still. And guess what? She's still working good. Now, since being on this Fanatec, I've moved around a lot. I tried out Thrustmaster, I received a Moza base, but never a wheel. So I never really got to use Moza, and now I've landed on Simagic. So before we go to the rig, I just want to disclose that if it were not for the YouTube channel, this is probably where I would still be. My income does not support upgrading sim equipment. It just doesn't. The wheel was already a stretch for our household in the first place, getting the Fanatec CSLDD, so I probably would have been happy staying here. However, the channel did well, and what you're about to see upstairs, I paid for almost none of it. Most of the stuff you're about to see was completely gifted to me for free or in exchange for a review, which is pretty cool. I'm happy with that. I'll take that any day. And actually, I'll have to keep taking that because I still can't afford this stuff. Check this out. I had to bring the CSL pedals back down to play, and I didn't have screws, so look at these zip tie harnesses that I made for the pedals. One thing you learn being a sim racer for a little over a year is you learn lots of ingenuity, lots of ways to just get things done. The desk shaking is so, I forgot how bad the desk shook. Holy shit. All right, we got to get on with the rig tour because I could sit here and do this all day. So here we go, you're seeing it right here. This is the room. I normally don't show you the entrance, but maybe this will help you get the scale. I'm 6'3", and I have the angled ceilings in this A-frame attic space. It's really not ideal, but I make it work. And yes, I have hit my head a million times on this ceiling, and it hurts every time, especially that it's textured. Sometimes you cut your head up. Not only will I run you through the Simrig, which is over here, but I'll kind of run you through the room itself and maybe the equipment I use to film. These are just Neewer RGB lights. They don't even sell these ones anymore, but if you get on Amazon and look, it's like $200 for like a 2-pack with the stands and these little soft boxes, and they do pretty well. And they make the room look a lot better than this. Because by standard, this is how this room is lit, and it's horrendous. Next are these little Aperture F1 lights with stands, probably about $200 for 2 of these and the stands as well. The batteries they use actually came with those lights, but they can also be USB powered. I have 2 of these as well. But for real, you can come in now. You can come in. I'm not gonna keep you out. Come in here. Typically, this is my workflow. I set up the camera, I carry this light around until it's where I want it, and then I place the camera again, and now I can tell you that this is my drum set. Something else important to know about this tiny room is that it doubles as a music studio. No, it's not soundproof, but I do have microphones all over this drum kit. There's mic cables ran all through the room, so this is just another thing that's in the room off camera that maybe you didn't know was here. This is my DW PDP Concept Series drum kit, and she's my pride and joy. But the main reason you're here, this is the Simrig corner, as I call it, and it's kind of hard to show in this room because my walls are gray and the rig is black. So it's always hard to light this thing and to show it appropriately on camera. Just like every sim racer, I feel like we all dip into a lot of different hobbies. I'm a musician, I sim race, I do things like paint miniatures, lots of creative stuff, I would consider it. I film weddings for a living with the camera that I'm using right now. That is a Sony a7 III with just a variety of lenses. The one on there right now is a Sigma 16mm. But in case you're wondering, I'm a man of culture. And by man of culture, I mean I like a few things. I like cars and boobs. That's pretty much my whole life. So anyway. So let's start with the Simrig itself. Before Next Level Racing reached out and sent me this FGT Elite 160, I was actually on a SimLabs P1 or GT1. that was donated by a community member, Sincere Wilson. And since then, they were nice enough to hook me up with a brand new rig, including a monitor stand. And let me give you the prices on all this stuff from the distributors. The FGT Elite 160 coming in at $999, and the freestanding single monitor stand coming in at $299. The seat is the leather version of the ERS3, and it comes in at $249. And after a few months of racing with this rig and this setup in the terms of the next level racing stuff, I honestly don't think you could get any more high quality with this stuff. It's top of the line. This is the moment where we take a second to appreciate the wall art I've been working on. Eventually this wall will be filled up with Lego Speed Champions. Every time they go on sale, I try to get one. Also, you'll see on the wall I have past race series posters like the Porsche Cup and the Ferrari Cup, as well as one of my band's albums that we did with the Neo right underneath it. On this wall, we have some of my favorite albums. That would be Deftones, Sea Haven, and Metallica. Over this way, we have Highly Suspect, Royal Blood, and Cleopatra. Not that any of you care about that at all, but I just wanted to let you know. Now moving on to some Simagic stuff. This is one of my favorite pieces on the Simrig along with the GT Neo. This is the DS8X shifter with the ability to go from sequential to H pattern in the flip of a switch, and it is seamless. I love this shifter so much. Coming from the Thrustmaster, it took me a while to get used to the throw on this shifter, but once I got it, I love this shifter and I would have a hard time going anywhere else. This is a great product. Next is something I have a little bit different feelings about. What you're looking at here is the TBRS handbrake, and it's hydraulic, and it comes in at $289. Now, to me personally, that seems like a big asking price for a handbrake, but this is the smoothest handbrake I've ever used, and really the only time I feel like the hydraulic is really important is when you're drifting. It offers a nice resistance during drifting when you are actually modulating your handbrake. It's not just a pull. Like in rally, as far as I'm concerned, I just need a pull. But that's just my opinion. I think this handbrake is still great, but if I were a consumer and out buying, I probably wouldn't go hydraulic. I would probably stick with my $100 options. But really, if your budget allows for it, this is a great handbrake with a very nice, smooth, solid feel to it. Once you use it, I think you will like it. Now for one of the hardest things to film in this room, and that is the P1000s. Oh boy, they're dirty. Oh no, hold on, I'm gonna fix this. Okay, we can fix this. Just know that they are beautiful in the dark. Right now you are seeing the P1000i, which are the inverted edition of the P1000 pedals, and they come in at $539. That gets you the load cell, the inversion kit, everything. This whole box you see here, you get for the $539. I honestly think this is a killer deal. So far I haven't been able to tell a huge difference between high-end pedals. To me, the P1000s felt just as good as my Heusenfelds, but others might have different opinions. So I know I said the shifter was like my favorite part of the rig. However, I have to say that's actually the Neo. The Neo is so good. I did a review on this wheel, and really this is like the biggest bang for your buck sim racing item, especially if you're in the Simagic space. This wheel is such a heavy hitter, and it comes in at $289. So this is the GT1, and this thing comes in at $309. Now, what I will say is this round wheel is excellent. It's amazing. I use it for drifting, I use it for rally. It satisfies all the needs. It's heavy, it's got a good weight. The stitching is very nice. My biggest advice here is if you're going for a Simagic hub, maybe shop other than the GT1. The problem with this wheel hub is there's not enough buttons on it. Especially if you're into things like Assetto Corsa where you can bind so many things. There's not even a 4-way joystick on this guy, so it's like really hard to navigate menus with it. You're always looking to use your mouse or keyboard. So keep that in mind when shopping Simagic round wheels. Maybe avoid the GT1 if you want extra options for buttons. So this is the heavy hitter at this rig. This is the Alpha Mini. And I'm not big in comparing wheelbases because I still feel like I don't have a lot of knowledge on it, but there's just something different about this wheelbase. The way drifting feels in it is just better. Maybe that's because they're the official sponsor of Formula Drift. I don't know what it is, but it just does it right. Just across most titles, I've just had such a smooth experience with this wheelbase. Alpha Mini is a 10 Newton meter base and it comes in at $499. Your next option is the Alpha at 15 Newton meters and then the Ultimate at 23. But to be honest, this will satisfy you as a sim racer. It is very good and it is more than strong. If you only have enough for their entry-level base, this will do the trick. You don't need to go higher. Also, the gloves that I race with are these Simagic gloves. I got them from SimHQ as well. They come in at $60 and they are inseamed and they fit very well. I really enjoy those gloves. So I get asked about these a lot. These are multi-LED displays sent to me from Simrep Engineering. They are $149 for a 2-pack, solid glass on the front, aluminum construction, they're super high quality, and they do so much stuff once you get them hooked to SimHub. Like you can see, I have my own animation that I custom made, but other than that though, they typically display me telemetry. They show me my revs, they show me my traction control, you can program anything, they show me flags, they even show me my blind spots. They'll say right on this one and left on the other. And overall on the rig, they look really cool too. I really like the way these things look. I've heard a lot of people say 150 is steep, but I think once you see the construction and what they're capable of, 150 is a pretty fair price for these guys. Also using the Cloud 3 wireless headset from HyperX. I just got this from them. And honestly, I haven't charged it in a week and a half, and it's still got 40 hours of battery life. This thing's kind of nuts. So since Road to Racer has started, it's made about $2,500 or something like that. It's not a whole lot. That's for a year and a half of content creation, over 400 videos. It's made about $2,500. Now, a good bit of that money has went back to the community. Like for instance, every race series, I give out 3 of these. You're easily looking at about $100 per race series for those. I also send artwork to our winners. That is another like 75 a race series. We've given out Steam gift cards. I think in total, probably over 1,000 has been given out in prizes since the start of Road to Racer, which is really cool. I'm happy to be able to do that. So with that money, I've bought myself a Quest 2, a few $100s. I also bought a Moza handbrake and Moza H pattern, which I no longer use either of those. They were decent products, but the products I have now are just way better in that sense. Those things totaled up to like maybe a couple $100, maybe $300. I've also bought the Sigma Cortex to make my Simagic stuff work for PlayStation. This thing kicks ass as well. It's about $150. Also bought a 4K capture card. That was about $300. I had to buy capture cards for my cameras. That was another like $200. My 1440 32-inch LG Ultra Gear was about $220 on sale. And then iRacing, that's taken a good chunk out of my money. But yeah, so that's kind of it. I just kind of wanted to lay out the expenses, lay out what the rig is right now, what all has been acquired. And in case you're wondering, my PC was owned and bought before sim racing. 32 gigs of DD4. It is a 4070 Ti at the moment. I'm borrowing that from my brother. Hopefully he'll let me keep it a little bit longer, or I'm going back to the 3070. It's got a Ryzen 5900X in it. It's a beefy PC. It gets the job done. It does VR well. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. But let's have some fun. Let's do a total calculated cost of this sim racing rig, minus the PC. Oh shit. Okay. So this is, Jesus Christ. Does not include my Fanatec stuff, my Heusenfelds, nothing. It is literally just what's on this rig and what's needed to stream sim racing or record sim racing. And that is $4,959. This is 2 of my real life car that I've been driving for 10 years. Don't touch it. Well, that's crazy. So basically what I'm trying to say is thank you so much for your support, and I hope to do one of these in the future as the rig upgrades. I don't honestly know what else, I guess motion maybe, I don't know, but where would I put it? I don't know. We'll see what happens with the rig as it goes forward, but thank you so much for your support. Huge thanks to the companies that believe in my content and support me in its early stages of growth, and I'm looking forward to a lot more content to come, so stay tuned.